guys, it's Sundays with Kai at IAMWFTM1. This week's topic is week 16, gender clinics. What is the process locally? And how far along are you? In Maryland, where I live, there are currently 2 gender clinics. They're not very close. There's one in DC. It's accessible by subway. I called them when I first started the process, and they gave me this runaround saying, well, you have to be a DC resident to qualify for like free services or for like pay scale services, you know, or like sliding scale where they charge you more or less or whatever. And the person on the phone recommended that I do all this like illegal loopholing in order to get the coverage. And I was like, man, that's not cool. And it's very hard to get an appointment there, and they're sort of distant. So I'm not a big fan. They're in DC. Their website is, I believe, wwc.org, which then expands to Whitman-Walker. I'm sure they're very nice. I don't like DC, and I don't like taking the subway, so I haven't gone. There's another one called Chase Brexton, which is based out of Baltimore, which is about an hour away, which is much further. And I've heard good things, but they're really far from me, and I'm nowhere near the process of needing anything. Ha ha ha! So, not doing it. As it turns out, actually, in fact, I'm changing to the dark side. Actually, in the United States, you don't have to go to a gender clinic. You can go to a private therapist and then go to a regular endocrinologist and then go to surgery. And if you're lucky, it's covered by insurance, but for the most part it isn't. So you don't have to go to a gender clinic, and a gender clinic will never do surgery. They might offer some counseling services or support groups. They'll make you pay, but they'll make you pay less if you're eligible for some stuff. And since the clinics aren't in my county and they're not close, I've just done it all private. So I've seen a therapist. I saw my therapist for 3 months. I found my therapist on Laura's Playground. If you Google it, you'll find. And she was a therapist that I was seeing over the internet. In fact, my therapist is based out of Pennsylvania, and we talked over Skype. So we had like 12 sessions, 4 sessions a month, yeah, for 3 months. And I'm moving this cup here. Excuse me as I move my cup, so I can do this with my arm. So I saw my therapist for 3 months. She found me mentally fit and not crazy and meaning it. So she wrote me a letter for tea. Due to my life situation, I'm unable to get testosterone. So while I have the letter, it's just sitting there collecting dust, not doing anything nice. I have found local doctors here and in a few other places where I was planning to move, so that when I move, she can write the doctor's name and mail it over, and then I will start tea. And then I will take tea for however long I take tea, you know, the rest of my life, and then getting top surgery. The issue with that is I can't take top surgery. My therapist won't allow me to take top surgery until I've been on T for 6 months. But I can't get on T, so as soon as I get on T and then I'm on it for 6 months, she'll write a letter. I mean, she'll say this person has been on T and living as a man forever and is eligible for top surgery. And then I will find a surgeon who is covered by my insurance, because it's covered by my insurance. In fact, my testosterone is covered by my insurance. My therapist was not covered by my insurance because my therapist is a licensed practitioner, but because this was done over Skype and it's across state lines, it's kind of weird. So my insurance wouldn't pay for it, even though I filed claims for it. So that all was out of pocket. It was like $600 or $800 or something. So I paid for that. And that's really as far as I've gotten. Yes. Now, what's more likely is that people will seek out support groups, because not everyone does the YouTube thing. And, you know, so it's a lot more, it's easier to be anonymous when you're just looking at YouTube videos, but some people want, you know, hugs and support and stuff. So a lot of people here do support groups, at least as far as I know. Like when I was planning to move, I looked for support groups in those areas as well, so that I could make friends and have a place where I could be myself without judgment, with actual people. So what I would like to talk about is my support group, which is amazing. Me and my friend, who are both in the support group, are actually building a website for it. It's transunity.net. And what's really cool about our support group is that it's sort of unusual in that we welcome anyone. Allies, trans people, multi-cross-gendered, like, you know, multi-transition people, or detransitioners, or transvestites, or gender fucks, gender queers. Everyone is welcome. Children, adults, the elderly. We really want to create a community for everyone. And there were lots of places to go to in DC, which is like 30, 40 minutes away. And more places to go in Baltimore, which is an hour away. But there was a need in my county. So I was just going to LGBT groups before that, which wasn't the same. But I love my support group. And it's huge and it varies, and there's an even mix of F to M's and M to F's, and it's really great. There is a trans man and their partners focused group in DC, but it's at Whitman Walker, and it's, again, DC, subway accessible, at an inconvenient time. So I just go to this one. But what's really cool is that my support group is really close, so, you know, we go out to dinner afterwards, so we hang out for like 5-6 hours twice a month, and we try to have events on the Sundays that we don't have group, which is awesome. But that's really the closest thing I've done that sounds like a gender clinic. Everything else I've just done on my own. I've contacted the HR for my company, and I've talked to my insurance, and I've just kind of done it on my own. But I'm not very far, so it doesn't really matter. I may actually end up going, if I move up to Baltimore, I may end up going to Chase Brexton for my shots, because I believe that's covered by my insurance. I'll have to find out. But if not, I could just go to a regular endocrinologist that's under my plan. And some of them are actually recommended. Like I tend to go to my plan and to websites that recommend local doctors and stuff, and just find the ones that meet, that they're covered by my plan and they're recommended, and I just go to that. But I haven't yet. That's what I'm going to do. But you really kind of just, there's this thing called WPATH, which apparently is no longer necessary. But like my doctor is still doing WPATH just to make sure that it's not just a trend and people are not just flying through the system. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing WPATH by myself, without a gender clinic who's going to tell me I'm on the wrong boundary lines, because there's none in Montgomery County. So if I'm going to get help, it's going to have to be a different county or a different state or whatever. So that's going to get finicky. So no gender clinics whatsoever. Those are just the ones that are local. So you know. But not because they're helping me any. Anyway, that's Kai. For Sundays with Kai, week 16. Catch you guys next week for my childhood. This is a topic I'm really excited about. Because, well, it's going to be specific to trans stuff. But I'm going to have a lot of memories. See you in a week, guys. Have a lovely week. Bye.